A huge crack that has suddenly appeared in Kenya is evidence that Africa is splitting into two, it has been shockingly claimed. A massive tear has opened up in the country more than 50 feet wide and running for several kilometers. The large, deep split occurred this week at Kenya's Rift Valley and was thought to have been caused by a heavy downpour above an underground fault line. The fissures tore apart a busy road and the government has had to intervene, desperately trying to fill the chasm with rocks and cement. The house of a 72-year-old woman was even reported to have been split down the middle as she sat eating with her family. Eliud George and his wife said their home was also ripped apart in the village of Maimahiu and was eventually destroyed. And experts say it is evidence that the Somali tectonic plate, which runs from Mozambique to the Horn of Africa, is separating from the Nubian plate. Geologist David Ahi told the Daily Nation, "The Great Rift splits Africa into two plates. With what is happening, we have established one plate, which is the Somali plate, is moving away from the other plate at a rate of 2.5 centimeters. In the near future, if this happens, we shall have the Somali plate separating from the other Nubian plate. You cannot stop a geological process because it occurs from deep within the crust of the earth. But experts say the gradual splitting of the continent will not be over for millions of years."
Last year, I confronted Heizo Takenaka, the former Japanese finance minister, over why he handed over control of the Japanese financial system to a group of American and European oligarchs. He and his envoy told me that it was because Japan had been threatened by an earthquake machine. I did not believe it at the time. However, when I started exposing some of their doings, I was told by the Japanese security police that because of what I had said on places like rents.com, that Niigata City was going to be hit by an earthquake. 2 days later, Japan's largest nuclear reactor was the exact epicenter of two earthquakes, both 6.8 in magnitude. That was too much of a coincidence for me. So I started doing research and found out about Haarp, H-A-A-R-P. And I realized that they really did know how to make earthquakes. And they do it by shooting a billion-watt microwave into the ionosphere, which is the part of the atmosphere that has a lot of energy in it. That pushes the ionosphere up into outer space, and then it rebounds. And the way it rebounds can cause earthquakes. Just like an opera singer can break a glass by singing at a certain level, or by dragging your fingernails on a blackboard, you feel a weird sensation. If they adjust the vibration for the rock underneath their target site, they can do that. The same machine can also heat up subterranean water to cause earthquakes. And remember, a billion-watt microwave. What does microwave do to water? It heats it up. Now imagine if you put 1 billion watts into a tropical storm. You could make it much bigger, and you could change the direction it flows in. You know how there's high pressure zones and low pressure zones. Well, high is hot and low is cold. And the hot flows into the cold. And vice versa when there's more of the cold. So they can heat up an area and cause it to flow into a next door area. In other words, these people are capable of creating the cyclone that hit Myanmar, the tsunami that hit Indonesia, and the earthquake that hit China. Now, after the earthquakes hit Niigata, a member of the Inagawa crime family, which is based in around the U.S. Yokosuka Air Base, and members of the Inagawa family have told me that their big boss is George Bush Sr. In other words, they work for Skull and Bones. And they invited me to a so-called UFO gathering where they showed me the video of this blob. They told me it was a UFO, but it was obviously, to me anyway, a plasma weapon, or a ball of heat created by something like a billion-watt microwave. And I predicted in my blog that there would be videos of lights found above China before the earthquake. And those videos then appeared on the internet after I predicted they would. And furthermore, a Taiwanese satellite detected a 50% drop in the ionosphere, in the amount of electric energy in the ionosphere above the earthquake zone. Now, a 50% drop would be exactly what would happen with Haarp. It would push the ionosphere up, and then it would slam back down. So, it looks like the insane criminals who have taken over the U.S. government are killing people and threatening people with earthquake weapons. It doesn't look like it. I actually have some of the proof.
Weather modification could also be used as an instrument of warfare by manipulating the electric jet and the jet streams that dictate climate. The publicly stated aim is C3, Command, Communication, and Control. The margin of victory in war is to block or intercept enemy communications and to secure your own. The signals in the ELF extremely low frequency range can be generated by Haarp and heard anywhere in the world, and are used for earth-penetrating tomography, basically finding enemy submarines and underground bases. The main idea behind Haarp is the ability to direct electrons along the naturally occurring magnetic field lines of the Earth and accelerate them to near the speed of light to form a protective shell of highly excited particles that not only block communications worldwide, but destroy missiles in their trajectory as they descend from space. The effects can be localized by punching a hole through the ionosphere to superheat an area 30 kilometers in diameter into a plasma shield. Any missile or aircraft would be destroyed that tried to fly through the plasma, which is the fourth state of matter. A hole in the ionosphere above an enemy country could kill by allowing solar radiation to strike the surface unhindered.
Don't tell me what to believe or accept what I cannot see. Fuck you and your facts, I'm free. If you don't like it, leave.